Am I overreacting is a good question. I'm your host, Height. Here are my suggestions. Our first one is from Electrical Gap 2122. Am I overreacting? My husband deleted all his social media apps right before his surgery. My husband was scheduled for a medical procedure at the hospital due to some recurring health issues. He's still young, but he's been dealing with chronic kidney problems that needed more intensive treatment. A few days ago, his symptoms flared up badly, severe back pain and swelling. I convinced him he needed to go to the ER, so at 2 a.m., we were admitted. The doctors decided he needed a procedure under general anesthesia to place a temporary stent. Before they took him back, he had to give me his phone and other belongings to hold during the surgery. While he was in the operating room, his phone kept getting notifications. When I went to check if any of them were from doctors or important family updates, I realized he had deleted Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. All apps that were definitely there just yesterday when we were showing each other funny videos while waiting in the ER. This seemed really strange, because he's always been pretty active on social media, especially Instagram, where he posts gym updates and connects with old friends. We've never been secretive about our phones or social media accounts. I'm probably just stressed and overthinking because I'm terrified about his health, but the timing feels weird. Why would someone delete their social media right before going under anesthesia? We did have some issues in the past before we were married. He had been messaging an ex-girlfriend inappropriately. I forgave him and we worked through it. Maybe I'm just exhausted and paranoid from sitting in this hospital all night worrying about him. We have 2 small kids at home and there's so much going on right now. I love him so much and I'm genuinely scared about what could happen during this procedure. Am I reading too much into this, or should I ask him about it once he's recovered? Please be kind. I'm just a mess of worry and sleeplessness right now. Thanks in advance. I feel like this is kind of a red flag because it's almost as if he was taking precautions that if things went negative in his procedure, that all his bases are covered and whatever he was doing on social media that might not have been appropriate will never be discovered and be taken to the grave with him. Personally, I would be skeptical, but then again, I'm skeptical of the sun rising. This next one is by Upstairs Ad 5355. Am I overreacting for towing my roommate's boyfriend from my paid parking spot? I am 31 female and I share a 2-bedroom apartment with a 27 female roommate. Our building has a few parking spaces that are reserved for tenants, which I pay an extra $180 a month for because I work late shifts and don't want to have to look for a place to park on the street at 1 a.m. When she moved in, I made it very clear that my parking space is mine, and that the lease contains a rule about towing unauthorized cars in paid-for tenant spots, and she told me that she understood. A few weeks later, her boyfriend started borrowing my spot without permission. I left a note and sent her a text to inform her nicely the first time. The second time, I found him while I was coming back from the store and asked him nicely to not park in the spot because it's not his and I pay for it, so I'd like to use it. He laughed and said it was just a few hours. I ended up parking on the street and that caused me to get a $75 ticket. The third time was the worst. When I came home at midnight, his car was already parked in my parking spot. I drove around for half an hour before finally parking on the street and once again ended up with a $75 ticket. I texted my roommate and asked her to make things right. She replied that she was sorry but didn't offer to pay me back. She assured me it wouldn't happen again. Last Thursday, it happened again. When I go there at 1 a.m. and saw his car, I just sat there with that awful feeling in my stomach. I took a picture of the plate and reversed sign with my apartment number. I called the tow company that was listed in the lobby. They came in 20 minutes, towed his car, so I parked mine and went up to my room and just went to sleep. About an hour later, my friend barges into my room in a panic, says her boyfriend had went down and his car was gone. She yelled at me saying that I should have called them first asking to move the car and not having it towed. I said I had already called her many times. and she didn't want to help me. Instead, I got multiple parking tickets for this, and she told me I was doing too much and that it's not that big of a deal. Now he has to pay $275 to get his car back. The next day, she wanted me to cover the towing fee, and I told her I would be more than happy to split the difference if she covered my parking tickets first, and the next month's parking fee since I could not use the space. She says I'm blackmailing her, and I've went too far with the towing. Right now, the atmosphere in our place is super awkward and tense. Maybe I could have tried calling one more time, but I paid for the spot and I wanted to use it. I've asked many times and she never cared to help me. Did I overreact by towing her car? Definitely not, considering you gave them 3 chances, 3 strikes. They struck out after 3 times, and the 4th time was just the icing on the cake, because even if the OP ended up calling them, I guarantee you there would be a 5th, then a 6th, then a 7th time. Maybe after having the car towed, there will be no more times. Definitely not overreacting. This next one is from Fit District 7673. He said he wants to have a baby with me. All of his friends are having babies, and he thinks my standards are unrealistic because I want a nice ring, wedding, and honeymoon first. Am I overreacting? I am 30 and he just turned 31. He says he loves me, but honestly, I feel like a placeholder. Recently, he complained that all his female friends are having babies with their partners, even if their partners are not financially stable, and they're not in perfect places. He always talks about his one female friend from grad school who had a baby with her husband, who is deployed, and he doesn't even help out with the childcare because he's out of town. She's the breadwinner of the family too because she makes way more than him, and she was the one who bought their home. Then he said to me, and said I should be open to having a baby with him because I have a house, I have flexibility at my job for pregnancy right now, and he finally has a full-time job. He does make more than me. I was like, what? These women are married to their partners. I don't want to just have a baby out of wedlock. When I pushed back, he said my standards are too high because I want an engagement ring, a real wedding, and a honeymoon. His excuse is that rent is a lot. He's making strides in his career, and he has a lot of student loans. I cannot shake the feeling that he just wants to settle with whoever is convenient. Am I overreacting for thinking about never talking to him again because the audacity alone makes me think he's a bad person? I look at it like having a kid, there's really no rush, and it's better to be in a much better financial position and prepared than have it happen when you're not financially prepared or prepared in general. I definitely feel like this is the kind of guy too, if all of his friends were walking off of a bridge to their doom, he would follow because they're all doing it. Hopefully the OP stands firm on what she wants for herself. And our final one is by Educational Leg 8193. Am I overreacting for being upset my boyfriend upgraded his seat to first class and left me in economy on our flight? My boyfriend, 32 male, and I, 29 female, booked flights for vacation together. We bought economy tickets. At the gate, he got an offer to upgrade to first class for a discount and he took it. He looked at me and said, "Sorry babe, I'll see you when we land." I ended up sitting in the back, squeezed between 2 strangers, while he enjoyed champagne and legroom up front. When I told him afterward that I felt hurt, he said I was overreacting and that he deserved to treat himself because he paid for his own ticket. It honestly felt so inconsiderate. Like he just ditched me. But now I'm questioning if I'm blowing this out of proportion. Am I overreacting? Not overreacting at all. Honestly, if you're with a partner, why would you try to ditch them like that? To make yourself feel better? Trying to justify it by the fact that you paid your own ticket is a really poor way to justify it, especially considering at the end, you still ditched your fucking partner. Alright, that's enough stories for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Am I Overreacting? If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.